Hi, this is Reg from Geek here with Nee, the community manager on Alien Isolation. So just first and foremost, thanks very much for your time today. Very much appreciated. I suppose the big main question is, how is it working with such an iconic movie franchise and trying to put it into the game and just making sure that you keep the audience happy?
It's fantastic and really, really, really fun. But obviously, Alien, the film, is so iconic, and we knew we had to absolutely nail everything down to the very last minute detail. And one of the things that we have prided ourselves in is how authentic and how true we are to the film. We basically took the idea to Fox and Sega, our publisher, and said, look, we want to do this. We want to explore Amanda's story. It's something we felt no one's looked into properly. And if we were Amanda, we'd want to know what happened to Ellen. And they were fantastic and really supportive. And Fox gave us 3 terabytes worth of data and information about the film that hadn't been heard or about or seen before. And one of them was this fantastic box of 8mm sound reel that hadn't ever been heard of the Foley and the sound effects that they produced for the film. And we took all of that and looked at all the inspiration and put that into the film. So our UI lead, John McKellen, has been working really hard on the element he calls lo-fi sci-fi, which is looking at the 1970s really like the 79 bleak future view and the futuristic look of that. And one of the cute things, they're not cute, but I shouldn't say cute because guys are like, it's not cute, Leanne. But one of the great things is, for example, we decided that we wouldn't put in anything that wouldn't have existed in the 1970s in the game to be so faithful to the film. So we set ourselves some limitations, and I think that's a credit to how incredibly faithful we are to the film. And I kind of hope that we transport that over in the whole entire feel and the look of it. So you played the game, so you would have.
I was going to say I'd like to say I've seen the look of the game, but I was too busy cowering behind the tables and in the locker. The atmosphere in the game is phenomenal. From the minute you literally start, when the lights start flickering on towards you, you get that closed in sort of atmosphere. It's really terrifying, and I suppose because there's been so many Alien games out there, this has got such a unique feel. And I suppose really the main thing is, how did you change the sort of the atmosphere around to make sure that you felt so isolated and make sure that you literally, now you don't have the weapon, you've got to run and hide, have the stealth mechanic. How did you try and make sure that you didn't overuse it and make sure the atmosphere still kept so tight and close?
It is the first of its kind in the heritage of Alien games. We're a single player, we're first person, we're looking at the survival horror genre. We're going back to that haunted house in space, which is very much Ridley Scott's view of Alien, the film, and that we've taken that as our core inspiration. And when you look at the film, it's 2 hours long. It's absolutely intense. It's really small, cramped places. It's tiny, little dark corners, and we took that and put that into the game because we wanted to be so true to the events of Alien. The game takes place 15 years after, but we were like, the technology would still be the same, the film vibe, that's what we want to take over. And getting all of that into the game, obviously we looked at the film, and the Nostromo is this one ship, and then we were like, right, how do we take that sense of one ship and put it onto Sevastopol? So we dissected it completely, took it apart. Fox sent us blueprints of the film set. It got down to the fact that the guys in art and animation were looking at the textiles to know how things weighed and how things felt, so that they could transport that into the game and have that whole entirely sort of immersive element. And obviously lighting plays a huge part, and so does sound. And our lighting guys, our sound guys have worked really hard to replicate that. So that moment in the demo when the lights go dum 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 into you, that's it's very hard to kind of distinguish that from the moments in the film when Ellen Ripley turns on the lights and they flicker on. So we wanted to remain really faithful to that, to create that atmosphere.
Yeah, you've definitely done an amazing job. Like I said, from literally the minute when the lights flicker on, you do forget that you're actually in the game, and your heart's pounding so fast. It's unbelievable. The sound quality, like you said, is so authentic and so unique to it. Is it the actual sound clips you use from the film, is it then, that you use in the game for the aliens?
So basically, when Fox sent over all of their materials and stuff that included sections of, like I said, the 8mm reel of music, we have drawn the soundtrack from Jerry Goldsmith's original soundtrack for the film, and we've taken elements of that. But obviously, again, film's 2 hours long. We've got a game that's much longer than that. So we looked at elements of the sound, re-recorded the music again, and brought in guys from the Philharmonic I can't speak today, orchestra, and re-recorded with them the score. And a really nice little piece of info is that there were a couple of guys in there who started playing the first few tunes of the song and suddenly went, wait a minute, we know what this is. We recorded the original Alien soundtrack, and they instantly recognised it. And that was a moment when I heard that, I was like, oh, goosebumps. And I can only imagine for them, just starting to play the strings and going, holy crap, this is it. And it's such an iconic score that we felt the game couldn't be without it. Yeah. So all of the music and all of the sound, we recorded via Foley and, orchestra, just to recreate that very same sense in the film.
Yeah, brilliant. You also do a podcast as well, which is leading up to the release of the game, where you go a bit more in detail about the making of the development series. So can you just name the actual podcast itself so people can have a listen to it and try and pick that up?
We've got a series of podcasts actually, but our first one was about creating the alien. So it is available on our website, alienisolation.com, and it's it's housed on SoundCloud, so SoundCloud/Alien Isolation. And we talk about the alien himself. So if you guys caught it, there was an insider video as well, which was almost like a dev diary, and it was where our devs sat and talked about how they created the alien, gave you a few more snippets from the game. And our podcast, I wanted to sort of take that and look at it in more detail. But what was great, we took questions from the community as well, so got people to send in what they really wanted to know about the alien, answered that in the podcast. We had so much fun recording. We basically had Geiger's book, which we opened and pointed at pictures and giggled ourselves senseless over the really phallic and sexual imagery. Went hee hee hee. But working with something like this gives us that sort of a fantastic level of interaction with the material. So keep an eye and an ear out for it. There will be future podcasts coming up looking at really key elements of the game. So if you're interested in that, please do plug in.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, Alien Isolation comes out October the 7th.
It is. We announced it yesterday, October the 7th this year, so I'm really excited. Phew, we've got that date out. I'm so relieved.
And is that going to be multi-format, same day release, is it? So the PS3, the Xbox One, PS4, yeah?
It's available on PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Superb. Well, thank you very much, Nee, for your time. Been very much appreciated. I'm going to go back and have another go now. Thank you.
Thank you.
G.E.E.K 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 G.E.E.K